The air in our kitchen felt heavier than usual, thick with an unspoken question that had been clawing at me for weeks. I stood by the sink, scrubbing a pan that didn't need scrubbing, while Sarah sat at the table, scrolling through her phone, her left hand bare. No glint of gold, no familiar weight of the ring I'd slipped onto her finger 8 years ago under a canopy of stars. I'd ignored it at first. Maybe it was at the jeweler's, maybe it was too loose, but the absence had become a silent scream. Tonight, I couldn't hold it in any longer. "Sarah," I said, my voice quieter than I meant. "Why don't you wear your ring anymore?" Her thumb froze mid-scroll. The room seemed to shrink, the hum of the fridge suddenly deafening. She looked up, her hazel eyes catching the dim light, and for a moment, I thought I saw a flicker of something, guilt, maybe, or fear. Then her lips curved into a small, dismissive smile. "It doesn't mean anything, Tom. It's just a ring. Just a ring." The words hit like a punch, stealing the air from my lungs. I stared at her, searching for the woman who'd cried when I proposed, who'd traced the band with her fingertip like it was a sacred vow. I set the pan down, my hands trembling, and slid my own ring off, placing it on the counter with a soft clink. "If it doesn't mean anything," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside, "then I guess I don't need to wear mine either." Her smile faltered, but she didn't speak. She just went back to her phone, as if I hadn't just cracked open our marriage and laid it bare. I walked out of the kitchen, my chest tight, feeling like I was stepping into a house that no longer belonged to me. The next morning, I woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of Sarah humming in the kitchen. It was a routine so familiar it ached. A reminder of mornings when we'd laugh over burnt toast or steal kisses before work. Now it felt like a performance. I sat at the table, watching her pour cream into her mug, her bare hand steady. I wanted to ask again, to demand answers, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I noticed things I hadn't before. The way her phone was always face down, the late nights she claimed were work, the new perfume that clung to her like a stranger's touch. "Big day today?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She shrugged, not meeting my eyes. "Just the usual. Meetings, reports. You know." I didn't know. Not anymore. Sarah was a graphic designer, her days filled with deadlines and creative briefs, but lately, her answers were vague, her stories inconsistent. Last week, she'd said she was at a client dinner, but her car was parked 2 streets over when I drove by her office. I told myself it was nothing, that I was paranoid, but the doubt had taken root, spreading like ivy through my thoughts. That afternoon, I did something I swore I'd never do. While Sarah was in the shower, I picked up her phone. The lock screen glowed, asking for a password I didn't know. My hands shook as I typed her old code. "Our anniversary, 0614. It didn't work. I tried her birthday, then mine. Nothing. The phone stayed locked, a tiny fortress guarding her secrets. I set it down, my heart pounding. And when I heard the shower stop, I slipped out to the garage, pretending to tinker with my tools. The days blurred into a haze of suspicion and silence. I started noticing everything. A receipt for a coffee shop we never went to. A text notification that vanished before I could read it, the way she'd tense when I touched her. I wanted to believe there was an explanation, something simple, but the ring or its absence kept pulling me back. It wasn't just a ring. It was us, our promises, our life. And she'd discarded it like it was nothing. One evening, I came home early and found her on the couch, laughing at something on her phone. The sound was so light, so unguarded. It stopped me in my tracks. I hadn't heard her laugh like that in months. "What's so funny?" I asked, leaning against the doorway. Her head snapped up, and the laughter died. "Just a meme," she said, tucking her phone under a cushion. "You wouldn't get it." I sat beside her, close enough to feel the distance between us. "Sarah, talk to me. What's going on? You're different." She sighed, rubbing her temples. "I'm just stressed, okay? Work's been crazy. Can we not do this right now?" But I couldn't let it go. Is it someone else? The question slipped out before I could stop it, raw and desperate. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. "Are you serious, Tom? You think I'm cheating because I'm not wearing my ring? Then why?" I pressed, my voice rising. "Why take it off? Why hide your phone? Why lie about where you've been?" She stood, her face flushed. I'm not lying. God, you're so paranoid. Maybe I just needed a break from feeling trapped. Trapped. The word echoed, sharp and jagged. I stared at her, my throat tight, and saw something in her eyes I hadn't noticed before. Defiance, not guilt. She wasn't sorry. She was angry. Angry at me for seeing through her. The truth unraveled slowly, like a thread pulled from a sweater. I started checking her laptop when she was asleep, finding emails she hadn't logged out of. Messages to someone named Alex, filled with inside jokes and plans to meet. Can't wait to see you, one said. Miss you already, said another. I felt sick, my world tilting as I read words meant for someone else. I didn't confront her right away. I needed proof, something undeniable. It came on a rainy Tuesday. I followed her after work, hating myself for it but unable to stop. She parked at a bar downtown, one we'd never been to together. Through the window, I saw her slide into a booth across from a man, tall, dark-haired, his smile too familiar. She laughed, touching his arm. Her face lit up in a way I hadn't seen in years. I stood in the rain, my coat soaked, watching my wife fall in love with someone else. When she got home that night, I was waiting. Her hair was damp, her cheeks flushed. She froze when she saw me in the living room. My ring still on the counter where I'd left it. Tom, she started, but I held up a hand. I saw you, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. With him. At the bar. Her shoulders slumped, and for the first time she didn't deny it. His name's Alex, she said, her voice small. We worked together. It just happened. Just happened. I laughed, bitter and broken. You don't just happen to stop wearing your ring, Sarah. You don't just happen to lie for months. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, tears welling. I was unhappy, and I didn't know how to tell you. I still love you, Tom, I just... Don't. I cut her off. Don't say you love me when you've been building a life with someone else.